We're about to step it up a notch this evening, but I'll come to that in a sec. It's right that I publicly recognise the tremendous effort that the CMJ team have put into bringing this weekend to life. I can assure you it has been a mammoth task to deliver an event which typically takes 12 months to put together, but on this occasion the team had to achieve in just 3 months, following our move on from Silverstone. The entire team deserve a call out, but the whole event was anchored by Sally and by Joe, who only joined us a few months back. So on behalf of the membership and the CMJ board, I want to express my thanks and appreciation for your commitment, conscientiousness and downright hard work. So thank you to you all, CMJ team, and thank you to Sally and Joe for that. Thank you. Right, on with the evening. The thing is, when it comes to business, our unity and our community and our spirit is unrivaled. No one touches the CMJ when it comes to that. But when it comes to sport, and perhaps rugby in particular, naturally our rivalry and banter seems to be mighty between us. A gentleman that has found himself at the centre of such international battles is amongst us here tonight. In fact, this gentleman holds the world record for the most test matches ever refereed. He has had to deal with the backchat of giants of the sport such as Mario Itoje, Dan Biggar and Mike Brown, although I might argue that he should have maybe taken the advice and listened to the guidance offered to him by Peter Stringer and Ronan O'Gara. But his quick, witty, no-nonsense responses to rugby players that breach the rules are now legendary, and was what helped him to earn him the most utmost respect of the world's senior rugby players and pundits worldwide. Growing up on a council estate in Method Cerrig, I hope I did that all right, Nigel, in West Wales, his road to sporting notoriety has not been an easy one. He has overcome mental health issues, eating disorders, and struggled with his sexuality to eventually become the first openly gay man to come out in professional rugby. He is rightly considered a role model for diversity and inclusion. He was named Gay Sports Personality of the Year by gay rights group Stonewall at its annual 2007 awards ceremony in London, and then the Gay Rights Personality of the Decade in 2016. In 2017, he presented the Panorama programme on eating disorders in men and boys and won huge plaudits for his Desert Islands Disc programme on Radio 4 hosted by Kirsty Young. Through his remarkable career, this gentleman has been recognised by both academics and leading bodies for his contribution to the Welsh language, mental health, diversity and inclusion. And his work in these areas didn't go unrecognised, and he was rewarded an MB for his services in sport in 2016. I am thrilled and I am very humbled to announce that the legend that is Mr. Nigel Owens, international rugby referee, has come to share a few stories with us this evening. Please give him a warm welcome, Mr. Nigel Owens. Nigel.
Thank you very much for your kind words, Emmett. I could have sat there and listened to you speak all night. I thought I was going to for a minute. Now, contrary to what you may believe, or to what you may have been told, I'm not one who likes to get up on my feet and speak in public, to be honest with you. I honestly am not. But after spending the last 2 hours sitting next door to Emmett there on table 3, I'm glad to get to my feet. I've driven the best part of 2 hours from West Wales to come and speak to you on a Sunday night, and you put me to sit next to the most boring bastard I've ever met in my life. No, in all fairness, for those of you who know Emmett better than I do, I'm sure, and I'm pretty good at first expressions, that he, a genuine guy, the type of guy that if you lent him 5,000 quid and you didn't see him for 5 years, it'd be money well spent, I can tell you now. I got to say, the last time I stood in front of an audience very similar to this actually to speak. It was a couple of months ago in the London Gay and Lesbian AGM. And I've got to say, the boys on table 1, nice to see you again tonight, boys. Oh, look at the worried look on their faces now, look at them. There is one thing for sure. None of you on table 1 could be gay. Oh, you never cope being turned down by men and women, that's for sure. What I thought I'd do for the next sort of 30 minutes or so, if I may, is take on a bit of a journey. Talk a little bit about those personal experiences and dealing with adversity along the way, and how important it is that somebody is able to be himself and to take themselves to work in an environment that cares and judged on the content of the character that you are and your ability to perform your task and not on anything else. But I'll tell you the truth how refereeing started, and this is a true story of exactly how it started 35 years ago. I was sitting in class one day, and the teacher walked into the class and she was wearing a miniskirt. And as she comes through the door with the miniskirt on, one of the boys sitting in the back of the class goes, "Right," she said. "Stand up, the boy with a horn." I was the only one sitting down. And then I got chucked out of class, down the gym, and I got chucked out of class in school. And John Bynan, the sports teacher, the late John Bynan, unfortunately, passed away nearly 20 years ago now at a very young age. Helped me a lot in my refereeing when I started, and coached the likes of Dwayne Peel, who was a couple of years behind me in school as well. And John Bynan was one of those true, genuine grassroots rugby community people. People like I'm sure you have amongst yourselves here tonight. Because unfortunately today, we live in a society where too many people ask, what can society do for me? Rather what I can put back into something that I've been very fortunate to get so much out of. And he was one of those genuine grassroots rugby teachers who gave his time after school to coach the kids and never asked for anything extra back instead of it. And he said to me, "What are you doing down here?" I said, "Well, I've been chucked out of class." He said, "Not coming down here and doing nothing." He said, "Go and referee this game for me." An under-12s inter-house 7-a-side competition. So I went to referee the game because I knew a bit about the laws of the game back then. And actually, for those of you who are wondering, I did play rugby in school. I played full-back for the first 15 in school. And in fact, after one game, John Bynan, the rugby coach, compared me to the great Welsh full-back of the 1970s, the legendary JPR Williams. When he said after one game, "Nigel, compared to JPR Williams," that was a fair point, I came off the field and I enjoyed it. And since then, not only have I been very fortunate to referee some of the greatest players in the world, I've also had to referee some of the most difficult players in the world. And the most difficult player I've ever had to referee was a lovely little Englishman who played for Leicester and England, called Austin Healey. What a knob. Now, for those of you here who don't know who Austin Healey is a type of guy that would never suffer from piles. Because God made him a perfect arsehole